Well, the weekend has officially begun, and we welcome you to this 2K Sports presentation of NBA basketball. I'm Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Richard Jefferson, and in just a moment, we'll hear from our sideline reporter, Allie LaForce. And now look at the upcoming schedule for the Jazz. On Monday, they'll go up against Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns. And then on Wednesday, they'll be playing against Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers.
And for the matchup with the Suns, it's a good checkpoint to see how they fit. It's the fifth contest on the year for them and a chance to evaluate where they stand.
And checking out Utah's opening lineup, they've got Kyle Filipowski. He's out there with Walker Kessler. Lauri Markkanen is out there with George. And it's Mikhailuk in a shooting guard. And for Sacramento, Dennis Schroeder is out there with Keon Ellis. Then it's Zach LaVine. Then there's Drew Eubanks. And it's DeRozan in at the power forward. And this early in the season, Greg, we still have a lot to learn about these teams.
And they're still learning about themselves, right? The coaches are working on rotations and game plans. The players are trying to establish the chemistry that a winning team needs.
And so it's the Kings getting on the board first. Filipowski finds George. And a miss there on the triple. And here's LaVine who brings it up for Sacramento. Last game matchup with the Suns, a tough loss there.
I'll tell you, they played hard, they drew fouls, but they could not convert at the line.
Leaving points at the free throw line can take the edge off of a team. You're playing physical, you're playing hard, and it's just not paying off.
Markkanen passes to Kessler. Misses the layup. Quick start for the Kings in this one. This is their first chance this season playing the Jazz.
And they'll be doing their best to establish superiority over this club, something they failed to do a year ago.
Okay, take a moment. Name an offensive move. DeMar has it.
And he makes the first. And joining us now by phone is insider Shams Charania with some news. Shams, give it to us.
Well, the Jazz have traded away a lot of their veterans, but all-star Lauri Markkanen still remains. After a down shooting season a year ago, perhaps he needs to build his value back up around the league before they would consider moving him.
He can heat up in a hurry, that's for sure. We appreciate the update. Thanks, Shams.
For a star like him, you get lots of opportunities at the line, and he's great at cashing them in.
The shot by Markkanen, nobody around, sinks the triple.
Already a solid shooter. When you play off Markkanen, you risk getting burned.
Pass to Eubanks. And it's Utah with the rebound. Here's Mikhailuk to the middle. And Kessler throws it down.
He finds a shooter in motion and is confident he can thread him with the lead pass. Well done.
And in terms of size, not your typical center, but man, he plays as big as any of them thanks to that terrific leaping ability.
Tipped away. Now Markkanen. Boy, was he something else against the Clippers. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Kept alive. Kessler passes to George. A three-pointer off the mark. Kings have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Lets it go from 14. And there are the Kings with another bucket.
Ideal way to start the game. Come out of the gate and knock down all but one of your first 5 shots.
Pass to Mikhailuk. Jazz passing it around. George with the bounce pass. Three-pointer, Markkanen.
That is not a guy you want to allow open looks for rain. Lucky for the defense, he just couldn't get it to go.
Puts it up from 7, and it's sent back by Kessler. Pass to Filipowski. Over to the wing. LaVine against Markkanen. Beyond the arc. Rebound by the Kings. You know, Greg, in recent seasons, Lauri Markkanen has taken on a leadership role.
And Markkanen has been the featured player on some very young teams, and he's really embraced that role, proving to be a positive influence both on and off the court. And they don't want to get in a habit of giving him open looks from three. First quarter still, but not who you want to leave open.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Here's Mikhailu. The shot goes in. First shot, first basket.
Nice job getting inside for the layup. Got the deep thinking jump shot, gave a little pump fake, and then off to the races.
And Doug Christie wants a timeout. He's going to take this chance to talk to his guys. And now, Allie LaForce says something for us from the sideline.
A bit ago, Doug Christie and I were able to chat. He told me when he was watching film of their opponent, what stood out was Lauri Markkanen's efficiency. Coach said Markkanen doesn't need high usage to be effective. He gets a lot of his points off of movement, and he brings versatility to this offense. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Allie. Got a lineup change here for Sacramento. Bailey's checked in for the Jazz. Collier comes in for Mikhailu. Jones kicks to Sharch. Pass to Westbrook. Sharch with the screen for Monk. And the three ball is good.
Well, those are starting to add up, guys. Their last 5 baskets, 3 have been hurt.
And Markkanen throws it down.
And how about the hops there by Markkanen? He knows not many guys can block that shot. Good at getting that deep post position.
Now here's Westbrook. 59 seconds left in the first quarter. 4 on the clock. The layup off target.
I thought he had that all sewn up, but somehow the defense just threw him off.
Pass to Collier. And the officials calling for a 3-second violation. Kings leading now by 8. Outside Westbrook. Monk outside. And out of bounds as the Jazz gain possession.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
McDermott's checked in for Sacramento. There's 31 seconds left in the first. Pass to Bailey. Here's Collier. Here's Hendricks. Last game we saw him score 13. And here is Monk. From outside the arc. The rebound by Collier. Bailey passes to Collier. The Jazz again can't hit it. And so it's Sacramento holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. Their defense has been terrific in this game. We've got more in store for you right after this. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1/4 of action so far. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for the Kings.
Well, so far, their long-range shooting has been the story, doing damage from deep.
And I also have to bring up their passing game. They've been moving the ball with great precision so far and creating great looks for their teammates.
They've got Monk. Jones is out there with Dario Saric. Then it's Zach LaVine. And it's Westbrook in at the 1. That's the 5 out there for the Kings. Now, here's Monk. We saw him with 19 points his last outing. Westbrook can't get it to go. Jazz trail by 8. You know, Richard, the Sacramento Kings are an organization that has faced heavy criticism for their decision-making.
Look at the players they've missed out on the draft, the stars that they've traded away, as well as the coach that they fired. Short-term thinking has done major damage to their long-term success, if any.
It's time to send it over now to our reporter, Allie LaForce.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. The Utah Jazz are going young, but this is a franchise that has a winning history, and that culture is still around. Coach Will Hardy said, the messaging doesn't change. The players have bought into the little things that takes to win. This is a cohesive group that's committed to helping each other. Back to you.
Building the right way. Thanks a lot, Allie. And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. Coach is going to take a few minutes to regroup and go over the strategy. And now let's have a look at the teams that were last year's best from the free throw line. 4th, the Kings.
They didn't give away any points at the free throw line, and that makes a head coach's life so much easier.
Here's McKayler. The Jazz working the ball around now. Pass to Collier. Drills the three-pointer. Collier's got his first 3 points of the game.
I guess that defense thought they could live with that, and he punished them for thinking so.
To the paint, it's tipped. Westbrook feeling it out a bit. Shoots over Collier, and it's Westbrook missing.
Well, they'll be happy with that look, even though it didn't fall.
Tough to watch those miss. I'm sure they'll convert the next chance.
And not allowing the shooter even an inch of breathing room on that one.
I'm sure they'll think twice about shooting against him next time.
Markkanen pulls it in.
Well, I tell you what, he's going to buy himself a ticket to the bench. If he keeps shooting it like that, he has been putrid here this quarter.
And finished off by Nurkic.
Nurkic not holding back. Had a hole on that finish.
And here's Westbrook. He'll bring it up for the Sacramento Kings. They've led by as much as 10. Pass to LaVine. And he's on the money with his first shot today. LaVine's got his first points of the night. When you look at the recent big threes in the NBA, RJ, it seems like they've failed more than they've succeeded.
That's because some teams just acquire stars without considering how their games will complement each other, often forcing guys into a role that they're not suited for.
Here's Saric. From outside, off the mark. Jazz trail by 5. Pass to Mikhailuk. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. And they double up Markkanen. Shot clock at 6. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. That 3 off the mark. Kings leading now by 5. Spins. Outside Westbrook. Monk looking around. Here's Levine. Filipowski grabs the board. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Pass to Collier. Kicks it out to Markkanen. Another miss by Utah.
And he continues to cast away, but the results just haven't been there tonight.
And a new front office taken over in Sacramento, Richard, this past summer.
Not to mention first-time head coach Doug Christie taking over the sidelines, and significant change to this roster. It'll all be judged by the results on the floor as usual. He's got moves in close. There's a reason Westbrook likes to get in there.
And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. He's going to take a minute here to get things straightened out. Teams deciding to change it up. And here's the 2K leaderboard with the list of the league's top shot blockers from last season. You look at Kessler, a fierce inside defender, tops in the NBA in blocks.
It happened so often. I'd say to myself, there's no way he can get to that shot, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and it go down as another block.
1:15 left now here in the second. Kessler the screen. George passes to Kessler. And the shot is good.
Yeah, and there it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great inside position.
Eubanks. Monk outside. And here's Ellis from beyond the arc. Utah with the rebound. They come into this having outplayed the Clippers last game.
And that one was all about offensive execution, running your plays, picking your spots.
And no team is going to shoot 50% every night, but this team has the right approach. When the shots are falling, they can light it up.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And that one's good, Eubanks. And the Kings lead by 5.
And DeRozan has done an amazing job improving his playmaking skills, including finding his open teammates.
A nice shot by George.
A tough start scoring the basketball, but they're starting to turn it around now.
DeRozan with it. The 3. That shot is off. So that'll be it for the first half. Fairly even battle underway in this one. The Kings on top, leading by 3. Live from Golden One Center. You're watching 2K Sports.
Welcome, one and all. Before we hear Kenny and Shaq's insights on that first half, let's look ahead and check out the upcoming schedule.
Checking out the Kings. They didn't come out the gates the way they hoped. Took the L, but they don't think that represents who they are.
Well, it might be just a matter of shaking off that rust, Shaq, and I think the second game will give us some insight.
Let's take a look now at that first half we just saw from the Kings. Man, that was close.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the fans are on the edge of their seats. They're getting their money's worth, Ernie.
It is electric in this arena tonight, and the team is vibing. That is more than enough of us. Let's send you back to the game. Kevin Harlan and crew with the second half.
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. And here's George. He'll bring it up for the Utah Jam. It's a three-point game. Heading underway here in the second half. Here's Will Hardy's 5. Kyle Filipowski is out there with Walker Kessler. Then it's George. Then there's Markkanen. And it's Mikhailuk in at the 2 guard. And now let's swing it over to Allie LaForce on the sideline.
Thank you, guys. Lauri Markkanen is a 7-footer with touch, but he can also attack off the dribble. Referencing comparisons to Dirk Nowitzki, he said, quote, "When someone hits a fadeaway jumper, they say, that's the Dirk. Maybe someday I'll get the drag step to be called the Lauri." Guys, back to you.
Ooh, that's a sweet move, too. All right, Allie, thank you for the report. Mikhailuk, and it's Sacramento with the rebound. Eubanks got rebound number 5 here tonight. And in the summer of 2022, Greg, the Utah Jazz traded away their franchise cornerstones, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell.
And that signaled the beginning of their rebuild, but they've overachieved for a couple of seasons now that ended last year when they really bottomed out.
Yeah, it's easy to see why they go to him so often, because they know they can depend on him to come through for them.
Third quarter of basketball, about a minute and a half in. George, no good.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Now let's surveying the D. From 8, DeMar DeRozan again. And now a 9-point Sacramento lead.
No, he's been locked all the way in from the floor, and he's the number one reason why they're winning right now.
Pass to Kessler. And here's George. And it's off from three-point range.
And another miss. Ooh, he's having a really ugly game.
Yeah, about as ugly as you can have, you're right. DeRozan passes to Eubanks. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Count that one, and the Kings' lead has been cut down to 7 on the bucket for Markkanen. Ellis outside. Levine against Markkanen. Levine dishes to Schroeder. 5 to shoot. There's a good screen. And again, it's Sacramento converting.
Oh, coming out hot, hot, hot. 4 out of 4 for the field. Okay.
Jazz trail by 9. George finds Markkanen. Pass to Mikhailuk. Eubanks grabs the miss. Eubanks got his 8th rebound here tonight. Shooter passes to Levine. Here's DeRozan. Misses the fallback J.
And usually that's a bucket for him, but look, nobody's perfect in the mid-range.
Now, here's George. A nice shot by Mikhailuk. Mikhailuk's got 6.
And that solid play in the paint continues here, guys.
1:52 left in the third quarter of the game. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Levine's got the lead up to 10 now for Sacramento. And so the timeout by Will Hardy here. He's going to make some adjustments to the game plan. The Kings will go for a different look here. Sharch checked in for Eubanks. Malik Monk comes in for Levine. Carter, he's checked in for Ellis. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for Dennis Schroeder. Norkic checked in for the Jazz. Collier comes in for Markkanen. A minute 42 left here in the third quarter. Pass to Collier. Nurkic's screen on Westbrook. Here's Collier. Another miss by Utah.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Carter finds Westbrook. Goes up and lays it nice and easy. And it's a 12-point Kings lead.
And if anything, Westbrook gets more aggressive against contact inside. He doubles his effort level in response.
And here's George for three. They get it back. Hits. Got that one from Nurkic.
That's a blue-collar bucket right there. Grown man basket. Put in the work. Got a second chance to score.
Outside DeRozan. It's tipped. And George, here we go. Yep, that one goes. George has got it back down to a single-digit deficit for Utah. And here's Monk. He'll bring it up for Sacramento. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. 11 feet away. And he overshot that one, missing.
And imagine how good they'll look if he can start to chip in a bit more offensively.
Here's Collier. Pass to George. Now Nurkic covered by Sharch. And Nurkic gets it to go.
Oh, he's been doing all he can to keep this competitive, but he needs some support.
And the last shot before the buzzer is off. And so it's Sacramento with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. They've played the better game so far, but their work is far from over. Right back after this break. And a quick look now at the State Farm assist of the game.
Yeah, an easy choice tonight. Look at the precision on this pass. Put it on a platter for him.
You've got to admire the vision just as much as the accuracy. Not many players can even spot that pass.
And with 3 quarters behind us, we start the fourth quarter in what is still anybody's ball game. Jones is out there with Zach LaVine. Then it's Malik Monk. Then there's Russell Westbrook. And it's Sharch in at the 5 down low. So that's the 5 in the game for Sacramento. Now here's Markkanen. Zach LaVine unable to get his last shot to go. And it's good for 2.
Look, you got to keep Markkanen out of the paint. He's just too big on that block. It imposes his will.
Inside, Levine. That's good, and so Westbrook comes up with the assist. And 7 points for Zach Levine.
And you don't want to allow too many of those short ones with the game right now in the balance.
High post, Nurkic. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Westbrook passes to Saric, and he banks in the layup. And the Kings lead by 6.
And a nice spark for their offense here in the second half. Now above 50% for the game.
And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for Sacramento?
All game long, they've been making it rain from the arc. And look, they've done it by feeding the hot hands.
And also, they are working the opposition from the mid-range, continuing to fire away with confidence from there.
The first free throw is good. DeMar DeRozan, he's checked in for Jones. And Utah with a change here, too. Walker Kessler, he's checked in for Yusuf Nurkic. So 1 for 2 that time at the stripe. Out that one, and the Kings' lead has been cut down to just 3 on the basket from Markkanen.
As a player, a rough first half, look, it can wake you up. Sometimes it leads to much improved play in the second half.
DeRozan on the wing. He's guarded by Markkanen. Clock at 6. DeRozan gets the bucket.
This is how DeRozan is wired. If you let him, oh, this man will light you up, and he's had a big night.
Here's Collier. He's covered by Westbrook. Markkanen passes to Kessler. Pass to Bailey. Sinks that one from the post.
And you want him taking big shots for you in big moments. That one was as easy as it gets.
Yeah, it's clear why they go to him in these moments. They know he's going to deliver for him.
Now, here's DeRozan. Saric has the open look. Oh, good with the triple. A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. Bailey passes to Hendricks. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Saric. Pass to Monk. Kings moving the ball around. It's DeRozan with the drive. Oh, and he feathers one right through. What touch!
Here is a guy you can count on in these moments. The high pressure doesn't even bother DeMar.
And we got a timeout called by Doug Christie. He knows every possession is critical now. Some changes here for the Kings. Eubanks, he's checked in for Saric. Ellis comes in for Malik Monk. And Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Russell Westbrook. We're now joined by our sideline reporter, Allie LaForce. Allie, it's all yours.
I was able to listen in on what Doug Christie was going over with this team. And he encouraged them to stay focused and not get complacent, saying, "We worked too hard to get this lead and we're not going to give it up now. Stay connected, play smart, let's get this win." Guys, back to you.
All right, Allie, thank you for that.
And I like the aggressiveness of DeMar DeRozan's game. He's constantly testing the defense, looking for any weakness he can exploit to get a bucket.
Now, here's Markkanen. That one misses. Fast break, here they come. Here's the teardrop, and it doesn't go. Jazz trail by 6. Outside, George. Markkanen sets the pick for George. And get the 3.
That's kind of a Hail Mary there. That's the mark of desperation.
DeRozan. That one drops.
Oh, wow. What a move from DeRozan. That's just not fair.
And so Markkanen will bring it up for the Utah Jazz. That one goes in.
Yeah, well done to finish that one off.
Ellis outside. Schroeder setting the pick for Ellis. From deep. Does not go in. For Utah, they've gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. Jacks up a 3. The putback. He parachutes in for the putback.
And those are exactly the kinds of plays that can spark a team. Just solid work down in the paint.
DeRozan scanning the floor. Does not go. Jazz trail by 4. Here's George. Now Markkanen. Outside George. Just 5 to shoot. Puts up a 3. That shot, no good. Levine misses the 3. Guys, a critical time for them in this ballgame.
You got to play mistake-free.
George in the post. Started by Schroeder. And there's the whistle. 3-second violation. And now we've got the intentional foul.
Second personal foul. Second team foul.
And so they foul intentionally.
Third personal foul. Third team. At the line for your Kings, DeMar DeRozan. 2 shots.
He hits the first one, and that puts them up by 5. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 6-point ball game.
Taking full advantage of his opportunities at the line to extend their lead.
And Will Hardy is called timeout. There was no hesitating. He wants to talk to the team right now. He's off from 3.
And as long as he keeps missing from deep, the D will keep letting him fire away. He's just off from range right now.
Shooting for Sacramento, Zach Levine, taking 2 shots.
So the first one drops, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so he drops them both. It's an 8-point game. Utah calls timeout. They trail by 8. Guys, what's your take?
Trying to keep hope alive, but I don't see them making a comeback.
With timeouts, it's use them or lose them. So why not go down fighting?
Let's lose a 3. The shot is off. Now Schroeder. So the Kings win it. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. Once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. Along with Greg Anthony, Richard Jefferson, and Allie LaForce, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you so much for watching tonight's presentation. And as we leave you, let's take a look at our player of the game, DeMar DeRozan.